The goal in the next 30 days is see how far we can go from zero to prototype and traction. Some people like Patrick actually have hardware with them right now. The goal is see how far you can continue building what you've got. So however you're coming into this, you've got the opportunity to build solo, work with a team you already have. It's choose your own adventure for the next 30 days. And then we've got, after the breakout room discussions, getting to meet different people, we've got Jur, who's the ex-head of hardware at Limitless. He made our AI pendant. He just did a full 90-day build in public sprint. We'll hear a talk from him, and then we'll end with QA, anything that we don't cover in the session. So again, feel free to drop questions in the chat. You're gonna have recordings afterwards. You're gonna have slides afterwards. So if you're just like, hey, we went through way too much information, I don't remember any of it, don't worry. Just hang out. You'll have all the information afterwards too. And so just in terms of introduction, I'm Michael. I wear 2 hats. I run Worldwide Studios. Our whole goal is to build a builder's dojo, like a gym to help people build with the latest in AI, hardware, and health. We just did a program with Google DeepMind in Nairobi, Kenya. Doctors vibe coding like robotic microscopes, crazy. That's where we're at in 2025. We also did a lab automation build in San Francisco with OpenTrons and really figuring out what it looks like to automate the benchtop. Our whole goal is to scale this to virtual in other cities. Nights and weekends, I help support Nate with Hardware Meetup. We're in 30 other cities right now. Cities that you all mentioning, Pittsburgh, New York, London, either in London or around London, have hardware meetups. And the whole goal for this 30-day challenge is combine what's been working in San Francisco with hardware hacks to see if we can actually do this distributed to help you all build some cool stuff. We've got hardware partners and technical track partners, which we can talk through. How this was a month ago. Flux AI, an online PCB editor. Yeah, Nick crushed it during this. It just was so interesting how quickly you could go from initial prototype to error-free, something you could actually print in a couple hours. So in terms of developing hardware, whether it's custom BCP or applications of hardware that exists, our whole goal was one day was not enough. People were like, wait, we just did this in a couple hours. What would it look like to have more support? So how we're setting up the 30-day worldwide hack to mirror the whole product development lifecycle. This whole kickoff is just an introduction, no action. For this week, the main goal is to start thinking about ideas. What is the next big thing in hardware? And what that means is going to be different for each one of you, because that was one of the biggest gaps. When you just jump right into building, you don't ask some larger questions of why does the world need this? Who would pay for this? What are all things you need to consider in supply chain and components? And so this weekend we'll kick off with ideas. Then we've got hacks. We've got a virtual hack. We got an SF hack and New York hack where you actually go from idea to proof of concept. Goal is to get some kind of physical prototype in traction in the last 3 weeks. So the whole goal, all of this is written down in a Notion guide. So you'll have this for support to be able to see like what to. And again, this is Choose Your Own Adventure. Come through. Every session is going to be on Saturday, 10 a.m. We've got some awesome guest partners, hardware engineers, hardware for people who can help support you along the way. And the whole goal is just make progress. Make as progress as you can in the week. You don't have to be a full-time founder right now. You can just be working nights and weekends. Think of this like a gym membership. You're showing up 5-10 hours a week. That compounds over 30 days. Build some cool stuff. And I would make the most of the hack weekend. That's where a lot of the progress makes. So you might want to clear out that weekend. Make sure you have some good time to make some progress. In terms of some questions that we've got initially, again, drop them in the chat if you've got extra questions. First question people have are like, what am I building right now? Our main answer, whatever you want to see in the world. This is not, we have guides and some ideas we'll share to help you think of ideas. Whatever you want to work on, this is your chance to build something for the next 30 days. That could be across any area. Human augmentation. What does it look like to augment senses or memory? Robotic automation. We just talked about lab automation, or there's so many things there. Next gen wearables. Buy a $200 glasses from Meta, hack it, start doing things with the video feed. Ambient computing. Maybe you want, maybe use Apple's desktop lamp and follow you around. Maybe devices should be smarter in our homes or on our, maybe you care about impact. Maybe you want to support the bottom billion. How do you increase quality of life for people who in emerging markets and emerging systems? Or maybe you're just like, yo, I want to turn some sci-fi into sci-fact. We'll drop guides for ideas here, but the bottom line is build whatever you want to build. And when you think about what is success over the next 30 days, just be intentional for your own outcome. Be as selfish as possible here. Nothing's in it for us. We just want to help the community build as much as possible, see how far we can make push development in 30 days for you all. So you think about what that looks like for you. Think about in the next 30 days, like are you one, just working on an interesting project? That could be a project you want to work on at work because there's an action that needs to happen. Maybe it's a side project and it's just something you've wanted to build. Maybe it's a long-term research project and you want to get that started now. 2, maybe you're looking for your new role. Maybe you're looking to get hired. Literally build your competitors' hardware with they don't have yet. Use that to get hired, right? That's one way to go through the next 30 days. Or for some people here, you could also start a startup. Anything we can do to help, we'll figure out what that looks like. But think about what your main outcome or your goal in the next 30 days and work backwards. Use that to help you design how you make the most out of the next 90 days. In terms of how we want to support that, if you're working on interesting projects, everyone here is coming from some different cities, different backgrounds, different community. The reason we're doing this as a community build, someone here should be able to help you with an intro to a supplier, manufacturer, customer. Use the community. We're not building in silos, and these are all one-on-one calls. There's a community hive mind here. We'll do the same. Anything we can do to help for maybe it's deployment, maybe it's different questions. The goal for getting the projects, use that hive mind to get information. In terms of new roles, our main goal for the final demo day in August 16th, we'll have a few company hiring. So Jur, who's at the end of this, in 2023, right before the first multimodal came out, we did an AI hack in San Francisco, and his team hacked a headset. So it was like you had like a James Bond on your ear. He literally got hired on the spot because no one was building LLMs on hardware. No promises that's going to happen, but if you're looking for a new role, our goal is to have some people who are hiring at the end, just in case that's helpful for you all. And then lastly, if you want to start a startup, Boost VC has they've updated their venture within 24 hours, August 16th. You'll have a decision. If you're looking to raise VC money and that makes sense for you, you get your first 50K check. Again, you don't have to start a startup. Do what makes sense for you in the next 30 days. And we start thinking about from like our perspective, why we set this up and what it looks like. Our whole goal, we want to see some physical prototypes. The reason this isn't a 1 day or 2 day build, it takes time to build physical things. You might not have the resources like at home or in your bedroom, in your office. That's okay. There's a lot of online suppliers that can help you get there. So the whole goal is get that physical prototype out in the next 30 days. If you're working in teams too, you can leverage your team members' experience and support to get traction. We're not just building things to make YouTube videos. Hand it to another human. Get another human outside of yourself to try it out, to test it out, see if you can get your first customer, see if you can get some real feedback. The whole goal here is to deploy prototypes look like into the world. And then lastly, meet interesting people. Everyone on this call is opting in to do something over the next 30 days, whether it's these sessions where you get to meet interesting people, make new teams, or the people you'll meet along the way as you share what you're building. That's part of the process. So that's our goal for you. And again, this is pretty free form where you can figure out what makes the most sense for your output and your outcome. In terms of how teams are formed, every session is a chance to explore new teams. So for this weekend, we'll make teams with ChatGPT. Whoever shows up will help mix up teams. If you already have a team, you can also let us know, hey, I'm heads down in the next 30 days. I'm working by myself. I'm working with a team. Totally okay. My main recommendation is don't treat teams as in the first 2 weeks. Use this as a chance to meet different people, go through different ideas, maybe recruit someone if you have an idea or try out new ideas. And after the hacks, the goal is like in the last 3, then figure out what teams you want to work in. So we'll help you make teams. You can also do whatever you want in terms of exploring what that looks like. In terms of where this is happening, it's all virtual first. We'll be doing Google Meets once a week to be able to help you out. We also have Discord for async communication. We'll send that link around if you don't have that already. And then we've got some IRL ops. So while it's virtual first, hardware is physical. And I'm based in San Francisco, so we're going to do a hack in July. And we've got the Flux founders based in New York, so we're going to do a hack in August. If you're around one of those areas, feel free to join. If you're not around one of those areas, don't worry about it. This whole thing is virtual first. We got some opportunities there. And then lastly, in terms of what hardware you can use, our main recommendation, like figure out what you want to invest in. What skill sets do you want to buy? What skill sets do you want to build? What hardware do you want to just hanging out? So the first hardware hack we did in San Francisco, the team that won used a Roomba. They had a $50 Roomba off of Facebook Marketplace, and the Roomba founder from MIT built it as an education platform. They put a webcam on it, and now they had a robot that could operate fully. They could take photos around us, and if you're like, hey, I lost my keys, it'd be like, hold my drink. And it would go around the space, take about 30, 40 photos. It's like, hey, I found two keys in your space, a Hello Kitty key and a golden key. Which one are you missing? It's like my golden key. So that's under the couch. So if you want to use different platforms that exist like Roombas, that's a fun one. Le Robot Arm costs about $110 to 3D print a robotic arm that's open source from Hugging Face. We got some hardware partners like Pamir, which we'll talk about this weekend. Really anything that you want to build with. Our main goal for this hack is keep the hardware pretty accessible where it's less than $500 so that it's like cheaper than textbook, cheaper than a weekend vacation with Airbnb. Buy some hardware, play with it, and then flip the hardware at the end if you don't want it after 30 days. There's no harm, no foul. We'll share more guides after this for different recommendations for hardware, we got a few technical partners you'll hear from this week as we drop podcasts with them to see what to build with. That's it for the intro. We got 30 days. Goals, have some fun, build some cool physical prototypes, and lastly, build in public. We'll share more what that looks like at the end of this session. But yeah, any questions before we do them so you can start meeting each other? Drop them in the chat if you've got a question, or feel free to unmute. Nick asked number of people per team. We recommend 3 to 4. And so the reason for teams of 4, no one should be PMing for the next 30 days. You probably will have a PM who's just like helping make sure things get, but we find that if you have more than 4 people, you end up needing to like just manage everything. So we teams of 3 to 4, we've seen teams of 2 crush it. And if you're like, hey, I have a team already and we're a team of 5 or 10, that's fine. The main ask for this is that whatever you build has to be new over the 30 days. So for Patrick, who's got the headset, it's what you build on top of the headset. You can't just be like, oh, this whole headset was built in 30 days. It's like, no, whatever is on top of it. So teams of 3 to 4, and we just ask that whatever you demo in the next 30 days is actually new. It's okay if you're coming in as a startup. It's okay if you have another project that you're incubating or working on. The whole goal is like, what's that new layer that you built over 30 days? Good question. Any other question? Okay, I'll be back here in the main room. So if you want, you can come to the main room. Discord's going to be open. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to help over the next 30 days. So as questions come up, feel free to ask. Main goal right now is to get to meet everyone on this call. And so our main recommendation, we'll do 9 minutes for the breakout rooms, long enough you can get past that first like, hey, how are you? What do you do? But not long enough where you can go into like a 30-minute riff and intentional. You should be able to meet each other, share your background. How are you coming in for hardware? What are you excited to build? What problems do you want to solve? And then ultimately thinking about the whole goal for this 30-day challenge is like taking the latest in machine learning, being computer vision models, large language models, small language models running on edge. What are some new opportunities that you think could exist? And so we're going to do 2 rounds of 9-minute breakout rooms so you can get to meet different people. And we'll drop these in the chat. So you've got it. Just main intro, problems you want to see solved, and interesting ideas. Have fun, goals. Have interesting conversations. Open up the breakout rooms. And Mohammed asks, how can I form teams with others? Each session, we're going to drop a team list, and you can edit that team list. So Mohammed, if you already have a team, you can say, hey, I'm good to go. Or for that session, so for next Saturday, for example, our first team session, you'll be matched with people that you can work with, and you can also edit it. So if you want to switch teams because you met someone today, you're like, man, me and Aditya are jamming, we want to work together. Cool. Part of the goal in these breakout rooms too is figure out who ideas do you resonate with, or who might you want to work with. So you can also use this session to figure out who might you want to work with throughout the next session. So we'll help explain that more too as we go. Okay, breakout rooms are open. We got 9 minutes. Enjoy the conversations, and I'll be here in the main room if you have any questions.